What's up, everybody? Tim McDonough from Aim High Training Solutions, and we're going to be starting a new series on YouTube called Word Wednesday. What Word Wednesday is going to be is where we take a word that we hear a lot in leadership, in education and business, military, anywhere where you're trying to influence a group of people or a person. It could be yourself included, right? We lead ourselves every day to try and achieve an objective or try and achieve a goal or a mission. And we're going to break it down. We're going to break down what it means. Is it useful? Is it redundant? Do people lean on it? How do we utilize that word in our daily operations or our daily lives? So this week we're going to start with one that I've been thinking about for a few months now, and that word is mentor. So why did I pick mentor? I picked mentor because I had a conversation with a very influential person in my life. His name's Jeff. I had this conversation with him many, many years ago. It was when I first had a kid. So a little backstory. Me and my wife got married in 2011. We moved to Utah, to Hill Air Force Base, Utah, just at around our first anniversary. And my wife was 8 months pregnant at that time. And so I was about to be a father for the first time. I was a brand new airman in the Air Force. I was about to be a father, and I was a brand new husband as well. Just got done training, so me and my brand new bride hadn't spent much time together. So I sent an email to a family friend of mine. His name's Jeff. And I said, hey, Jeff's older, he's an adult. He was somebody that I looked up to a lot as I became an adult myself because of the way he raised his kids and the way he took care of his family. And I had a lot of respect for the way he did things. So I sent him an email and I said, Jeff, I want to try and be like you. I want to try and emulate the way I parent, the way I care for my wife, the way I care for my children. I want to emulate it off the way you do it. It took a while for him to respond. Which was weird. He's always willing to help out. He's always willing to jump to make somebody else's life easier. He finally responded. He said, I apologize for taking so long, but I really wanted to think about the way I was going to word this to respond to you. And he said, don't try and be me, because there's going to be a lot of times where I let you down. There's going to be a lot of times where I do things that you're going to wish I hadn't done. You're going to hear me use language from time to time that you wish I hadn't used. I'm human, and humans fail. So if you put a human into a position like a pedestal, if you put a human on a pedestal, you're going to be let down a lot because it's just in our nature to do so. We're imperfect beings, right? I'm very strong in my faith. I'm a Christian. Jeff is too, and that's how we connected through my wife. Actually, that's how we met up. He was a youth pastor for her growing up, and that's how I met him. So he said, the only person who you can really pedestal is God, because God's the only one that's perfect. And in my faith, in my belief system, that's what I believe, and I agree with that. You may have a different opinion. You may not be religious or anything like that, but in my system, in my experiences and in my journeys, I've come to believe that's true. Right? So Jeff said, don't put him on a pedestal. He's going to let me down. I take that into a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different conversations that I have with people on a regular basis, or a lot of different interactions. Right? Whenever I'm meeting somebody new, or whenever I have to deal with a situation or handle a problem, or, good, bad, and indifferent, I always think about the fact that, people are imperfect. There's going to be problems. There's going to be moments where that person lets you down, regardless of who it is. I'm sure my wife could say the same thing about our relationship. There's been times I'm sure that I've let her down, but we love each other, and we're imperfect, but we love each other through that. And you can see the same thing in your business or in your place of operation, wherever you're working, school, military, whatever it is. People let you down on a daily basis, right? My full-time job is instructor supervisor in a training squadron in the U.S. Air Force, and it happens, right? Students might fail an objective. I might have one of my NCOs that I'm trying to supervise might miss a due date on something, and so people are going to let you down. How are you going to handle it? But it all comes back to that word mentor. That's what we're talking about today, right? So when every year the Air Force, we do an evaluation of our personnel. So I sit down with my supervisor and he tells me what I did well, what I need to improve on, and we come up with an action plan to make that happen, right? Well, we ask a question in that form, and it says, are you a mentor? And do you have a mentor? And the do you have a mentor thing is weird because it goes back to that pedestal, right? For me, it goes back to, well, I have a lot of people that I can reach out to and make things happen for, but I don't have one specific mentor, because if I did, I'd probably have a lot of deficiencies in certain areas, right? So I don't believe that I have one specific mentor that I go to for a lot of things. I think Jeff would probably be the closest, and he doesn't even know it. And then, are you a mentor? So when I think about myself as, am I a mentor? Like, it sounds conceited to me, right? It sounds like, am I a mentor? I don't know. Like that's for somebody else to decide, right? It's kind of like when you think about who's the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time is a really weird conversation. George St. Pierre, a UFC fighter, he talks about it. He's like, how do you determine who's the greatest of all time? Well, you only saw me fight 25 minutes every Saturday night, every now and then. What if I fought that guy on Sunday? What if I fought that guy on Friday, right? So greatest of all time conversation is not for the athlete. It's for the fans. So am I a mentor? I think that's the same thing. It's not for the leader or the manager or the supervisor or the NCO or the sergeant or anything like that. It's for the person that they're mentoring. It's for the person that's looking up for them to answer that question. So I always thought that was a weird one on the ACA, right? But let's take the definition of mentor. What is the definition of a mentor? When I Google, it's worth a Google, right? So I did that. And it says an experienced and trusted advisor. It's a definition of mentor. So we can break those two things down right now. How do you ensure that you get to be a mentor of somebody else? And remember, we're going to take the foundation of it's somebody else's opinion. It's somebody else's decision to say whether or not you are a mentor. Let's focus on that avenue, that road to go down, right? How can we get somebody else to consider us a mentor? First part of the definition, an experienced advisor, right? So experienced in what? If I'm somebody that's very experienced in playing the guitar, but I'm not experienced in playing the drums and you want to learn the drums, am I going to be the appropriate mentor for you? Probably not, right? Entirely different skill set, entirely different set of instruments and tools and rules and things that encompass playing the drums. I may be the best guitarist in the world, but if I can't play the drums, or if I'm not experienced in that skill, I'm not going to be able to be your mentor in that skill, right? Find out where are you operating? What's your business? What's your objective? What's your daily goal? What are the things that you try to achieve? Your business that you work for, your company, your employer, or your own business, or even in your personal life, right? What are your goals that you're trying to achieve? So you got all those to look at and try and figure out, where do my experiences line up and who can I mentor based off of my experiences? And you're just trying to share your expertise. You're not trying to force yourself into being a mentor with somebody. You're just trying to share your expertise with people. I think that's the objective there, right? And then the second part of the definition, right? So an experienced and trusted advisor. So that means make the expectations very clear and very attainable. You want to make your promises realistic. You want to make your promises attainable. You want to be able to keep your word to the people that you get the opportunity to influence. And that's what we're really talking about here. When you talk about a trusted advisor, you want to be able to keep your word. And that means you got to know your limits. You got to be able to understand where you are no longer the subject matter expert, or where you are no longer the person that's going to be able to help them in that scenario. And instead of trying to push through and letting your ego guide you on that mission, you got to be able to remove yourself, or you got to be able to find that other solution or that other person that can help your peer or the person coming to you solve their problem. I think when we break down mentor, that's what we got to think about. A experienced and trusted advisor. So one, is it even up to you to determine if you are a mentor? In my belief, I don't think so. Experience. Know your stuff. Know your systems. Try and become the most experienced person in whatever industry, business, or daily activity you're trying to be successful in. And then the trusted advisor. Make sure whatever you promise you can follow through on. Whatever that objective is, whatever that promise is, whatever that statement is, make sure it's something that you can follow through on. All right? So that's my lesson for today. That's our Word Wednesday. It's mentor. Go ahead and look it up. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you like it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Give me negative feedback too. I love that too. So if you want to learn more, go to aimhightrainingsolutions.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at aimhightrainingsolutions. If you want to sit down and have a conversation about how Aim High Training Solutions can help you achieve new heights, email us at aimhightrainingsolution without the S at gmail.com, or give us a call at one of the other contact points below. All right? Aim high.